All right, back at it once again. Welcome back. It's Goji time again, folks. Shout out to my boy Rich for getting me this one. I broke his balls about this one for a couple of weeks. I've been wanting this one. This is the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 1954 movie graphic plus. And of course, you see you have the poster from the movie right here. I like these movie graphic plus boxes. They have a really nice old school film look to them. Of course, you see you got Dr. Sarazawa, Dr. Yamane, and Ogata and Emiko on the front here. Bandai Namco with all of the logos. Right here, you got Godzilla 1954 movie graphic plus with a picture of the figure and this nice display that you get with it, which is really, really cool. Here's a nice picture of the figure on the other side with the Godzilla logo, Godzilla 1954. Top of the box, you're going to have two nice pictures of the figure right there. You got the window into the Goji. Bottom of the box, another nice picture of the figure. A very well done box. Got a little bit banged up, but it's very, very nice. I love the color of it. I like the feel of it. You're going to have the poster right there. And you're going to have a nice little write-up right here. I'll leave it on that so you could read it. It's actually so small, but right here, we'll just zoom it in for you. The effects of nuclear weapons testing revived the legendary monster Godzilla from Odo Island, which landed in Tokyo. The capital was trampled and reduced to ruins. Is there any way to destroy Godzilla? The first Godzilla film, a landmark work that established the special effects monster movie genre in post-World War II Japanese cinema. Ishiro Honda's Carnus main drama depicting the terror of nuclear weapons combined with E.J. Tsuburaya's realistic special effects direction created a masterful combination that made the name Godzilla famous worldwide. That's very, very nice. And here you're going to have dynamic poses made possible with SH Monsterarts wide range of motion. Right here. Sculpted by Yuji Sakai, capturing a high-quality form and silhouette. Of course, there's Yuji Sakai right there. And then you're going to get another picture of the figure right here. Figure and poster art. It includes poster art, a special edition to display with the poster and relive the excitement of the time. That's nice, man. I like these. These are dope. Got the Shin movie graphic plus. I'm looking forward to getting some more. Maybe I'll get the 89. Maybe I'll get the... I'll definitely get the 2014 when that comes out. But let's get this sucker open. Okay, so I'll just show you the packaging now. You have the clamshell with the Goji inside. No extra accessories here. And then you have this nice poster and stand setup. I'm just going to show you this now. I'm not going to take it out of the plastic because I probably will frame this. So I'm not going to take it apart and stand it up. I'm going to probably frame it. That's really, really nice. Of course, you see the cast down here. Dr. Sarazawa, Dr. Yamane, Ogata, and Emiko. Awesome. Okay, so here he is straight away, right out of the box. Very, very nice looking. You could tell it's a different color from the original. This is darker. It's almost black, dark, very dark gray. The other one was kind of a matte charcoal type of color. This is darker, and the dorsal plates here are like a beautiful gray and white. The center is like a light, actually like a silver. It has silver paint maybe with a little bit of a bluish tint. I don't know. It always looked blue to me. In the reviews that I've seen of it, but in person, it looks silver. So I think it's pretty much silver, but it's a nice dusting of that silver. Well, first of all, in the middle of the dorsal plates is that beautiful silver. It just makes the white pop, and then there's a very nice dusting all around it. Yeah, it doesn't go to the tip of the tail. To the tip of the tail, you have like basically like gray. It stops, the white and silver stops right there, and then it goes gray for the rest of the tail. And then you've got that white and silver on the inside of the mouth as well. What else is different about it is these eyes are well done, very well done. But they're looking forward instead of sideways, which is pretty cool, as opposed to the original 54. I mean, the look is sideways on the 54, but this kind of gives you more of an idea of what the creature would look like if it was alive and in action. The eyes would obviously be looking forward. So, yeah, I like the paint job on this, and if you could see here, let's just take a closer look at that. The eyes are nice. Sorry. There we go. The eyes are very nice. Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, yeah, I'm a sucker for the 54, so I've been wanting this ever since I heard about it, pretty much, and I watched a bunch of reviews on it. And this is just a fun Godzilla. I now have all 3 of the 54s that SH Monsterarts put out, which is cool, all 3 different versions. And, we can't talk enough about the importance of this movie. You know what I mean? What we have today, as far as everything that's coming out with Godzilla was spawned by this movie. So we're going to pose this guy, and we're going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk about how it came about, and give you a little bit of a history lesson on the movie, and we're going to pose this figure and see what he could do. Okay, wow, that just looks beautiful, man. Look at that. Nice tail off the ground pose to kick it off, lurching forward. Awesome. This figure's gorgeous, man, And another thing is this figure has some good articulation on it. You know what I mean? Like pretty much all 3 of them do. And it's a figure that's very, very fun to pose. And one thing I like about it is that, like I said in the review videos, there is this slight hint of blue at the bottom of the dorsal plates and in the mouth that you really don't see in person. It's there, but it's very little. I don't know if it's the lighting that people used in a lot of their review videos or not. I didn't care for it when I saw it in the videos. Seeing it in person, it looks much more white and silver than it does blue. And what I thought about the inside of the mouth before is better now. I like the way the inside of the mouth looks, where I wasn't so sure before. The inside of the mouth looks, much more subtle than I had thought. And you can see that right there. It's really beautiful, honestly. So yeah, Godzilla, 1954. You know what I mean? It's the movie that started it all. This is the creature that started it all. And so basically, off the strength of the 1933 King Kong And the beast from 20,000 Fathoms, we get Gojira, mixed with, the nuclear bombs of World War II and the fallout from the nuclear bomb test with the Lucky Dragon incident, the fishing boat, where these fishermen experienced the fallout from the nuclear bomb test. And, the combination of all of those gave us this movie where basically Godzilla, is a metaphor for nuclear weapons. And it's such a memorable film. You could still say it's the best Godzilla film, you know what I mean? Just because of what it meant, had the dark and somber tone of it, and how much of a threat Godzilla actually was in that picture and what it was meant to represent. So, and it's got very, very memorable scenes. And, if you think about what that suitmation and the special effects looked at for that time, it was ahead of his time for what, compared to what other monster movies were doing, So, but this figure is absolutely beautiful. I love the darker color of it. And these dorsal plates, oh my God. Look at that, man. These dorsal plates are absolutely gorgeous. And I'm happy to say that the inside of the mouth on this thing is just beautiful. It really, really looks good. The teeth are well done. The tongue is well done. I love the color of the inside of the mouth. Whereas before, I wasn't sure. Shout out to my boy, Rich. Rich, the inside of the mouth looks better than we both thought, man. You know what I mean? It's not that sloppy blue mess that we thought it was going to be. It actually looks really, really nice and matches the dorsal plates quite nicely. It's way more subtle than we're talking about, So let's continue to pose this thing, though. Okay, now this is about as high up as you could get him to look. And as high as he stands and as high as the tail goes right there. So, which is pretty nice. He's, this Godzilla really didn't look straight up like the legendary some of the later versions, legendary Godzilla did, but you can get him to look up fairly high into the sky, which is nice. This is a very impressive looking figure. I love the basically like black and white and a little bit of silver effect of this figure. It's just so well done, and the teeth are very nice, as you can see right there. Very, very nice. Let's continue posing. Okay, now that's just a great tail off the ground pose right there. You can curve this tail very nicely. This figure's articulation is nice. It could do a lot, and it's very, very fun to pose. I forgot how much fun it was to pose from the other two that I own, but it's so fluid and posable, you know what I mean? And I love that. And just to talk about the design of this Godzilla, this right here is a pretty scary looking Godzilla, you know what I mean? Fitting for the first movie. They did have a couple designs before they got to this guy. And obviously one of the ideas was to have the head almost look like a mushroom cloud, since Godzilla is a metaphor for nuclear weapons. And maybe on the first couple of tries, they did that a little too much, whereas what they wound up with, they did it with basically his face and his jowls, as you can see here, are puffed up. You see that? If you look at his face, it gives you a little bit of that mushroom cloud look to it, which is what they intended to do. I think ultimately this version of Godzilla was a much scarier version than the few that came before it. But look at the inside of that mouth. That's so well done. The tongue is really nice. It's got that silverish white tone to it. Boy, am I happy it's not that weird blue that I thought it was. And now I'm curious as if, do people have it with that weird blue, or was it just their camera making it look like that? Are people getting different versions of this figure? One is like silverish and white, and one is kind of a blue tone to it? Because, yeah, you can see that's silver. There's no real blue tone to this, so I'm kind of confused about that. I'm happy about it because I didn't like that blue tone. But yeah, this looks just excellent. I love it. It's a really nice paint job too. It's solid. This is a solid figure all around from SH Monsterarts. You know, there's no two ways about it. Now you're going to get some excellent movement in the neck area here. You're going to get some turn and rock at the waist as well. Also, I love this tail. The tail is, you know, shorter than normal, but it's articulated to give you some nice poses. But you know, kudos to the neck articulation here. That's certainly a highlight of this figure. And you know, combine it with the you know, turn and rock at the waist, and you're going to get a nice looking to the side pose like that. Okay, now another thing that's excellent with this figure is the crunch that you're going to get. You get some very good crunch at the waist, and the way this neck functions, you could have them look way down like that, which is just fantastic. And the tail definitely works in unison with the rest of the figures. But, you know, and you're going to get, when you do crunch them down, you're going to get some nice paint in between that silver and white. Oh, see, over here it looks like there's a touch of blue, but whatever, man. But the figure's got good crunch, and you can make Godzilla look pretty far down, and that's a nice touch. Now, of course, and I remember this from last time, I love the swimming pose this figure provides. You know, look at that. It's almost damn near straight ahead. His face looks straight up. Tail goes straight. This swimming pose is so good, you might consider posing it that way on the shelf on a stand. You know what I mean? This Godzilla was absolutely, you know, they introduced us to Godzilla being in the water with this Godzilla, so it's fitting that it would have one of the better swimming poses. I just love the way that looks. If you have a little Dr. Sarazawa, then maybe you could make a nice swimming pose on yourself. But that's awesome right there. Another plus to this figure. Here's another very nice expressive pose. Wow, that looks so good. You know, like Godzilla looking up at a plane. Really comes to life. You know, not enough is to be said about the eyes on this picture. It's not what we're used to. They're not set to the side like we're used to, but they really bring the creature to life, because now it makes it look like Godzilla's looking straight at whatever he's looking at. So you could see, like, it really looks like he's looking up at that plane. You know what I mean? And that's just incredible, man. I like that. I like that they did that. I like that they made the eyes straightforward, you know, because that's how he's really going to be, you know. The eyes to the side gave it a creepy effect, but this is more realistic in my opinion. So, and, you know, just having him in this position right here, you could see the details of this and all of the creases to really symbolize the rubber suit. You know what I mean? I like that. SH Monsterarts nails that about this, where you could actually, you know, see the creases and it really like mimics what the rubber suit looked like because of it, because of the details. And it's just highly detailed and very, very nice. This is about as wide as you're going to get them, which is pretty much a full T-pose. But one thing that's kind of strange is there seems to be a bit of a drop-down system in the legs. I don't know if I remember that from the last two figures. It doesn't drop much, but they drop a little bit. I guess to give you some wider range of motion, wider poses. But there is a little bit of a drop in the leg. I don't know why I never noticed that before. At least I don't think I did. I don't know. I have to go back and watch my own reviews. But there is, these legs drop a little bit. And that's cool. Okay, so another thing I didn't remember is what a fantastic foot stomping pose that you can get with this figure. Due in large part to some very nice leg articulation here. And with help from this beautiful, posable, bendable tail. And even the neck makes it look like he's looking straight down at what he's stepping on. That right there is a beautiful foot stomp pose. And this figure just looks so sharp and impressive. I really, really love it. I love that right there. Look at that. Look how beautiful these dorsal plates are. I really love the paint job here. It looks so nice. Also, you know, just so you know, you get turn at two different areas. You get turn here and turn here. So when you want to make them look to the side, you could do it from two spots. Man, this figure's just so smooth. I love it. Everything works in unison. It's a very, very expressive figure. This is an expressive, you know, Godzilla, like on all 54s, really, you know. It just captures what we saw in the movie so nicely. And, you know, I've said it once before. I didn't get the original 1954 over here in the United States. We didn't get it till like the 2000s, honestly. They showed the Raymond Burr version on TV. You know what I mean? So, but it's the same Godzilla that I grew up with, and I just really, really love this movie. You know, it means so much to me in my life. Both of those, the 54 and the 56. But the original Godzilla, you know. That's the reason why I'm a fan. That's the reason why I even collect figures, is just, you know, I love the dark, somber tone of both of those movies, you know, which is what really sticks with you as when I was a little kid and I saw that, you know, destruction in Tokyo and all of those scenes, it really grabbed me. And so when I get a 54 figure like this, it really brings me back to that. And this is so nice, man. I think this is one of SH Monsterarts' best figure, the 54. I think they really nail it in every way. And it's nice that I have all three. I'll break the other two out to compare. But this Movie Graphic Plus is very nice. It's certainly worth it, and I'm very, very happy that I purchased it. Okay, that's just a nice pose right there. I feel like this pose really conveys how he looked in the movie. Man, this is a sharp figure. Wow. Look at that. I really like the contrast of the white paint on the dark body. You know what I mean? I think that's what separates this Movie Graphic Plus version. Where it just makes the dorsal plates and the mouth pop. And that looks really, really nice. You know, another thing I was thinking about is how, you know, this was supposed to be a completely different movie, actually. You know, the producer, Tomoyuki Tanaka, was on his way to Indonesia, you know, because they were doing another film, but there was, you know, like, I guess Japanese occupation in Indonesia, but there was anti-Japanese sentiment. And so they didn't want to go through, the deal basically fell apart. So he flew to Indonesia. The deal fell apart, and he got back on the plane. And as he's on the plane, he's looking down at the ocean, thinking about the beast from 20,000 fathoms, and just looking at the ocean, imagining if a sea creature would pop out of it, and basically came up with the beginnings of Godzilla, Gojira. And that's how it was spawned, which is so cool, like that whole idea of it is great. Just riding on the plane, looking down at the water and picturing a creature coming up out of it. I think originally the plan was for it to be a giant octopus. I'm glad that it wasn't that, and it wound up being Goji, But yeah, like there's so many things that are historic about the original film. And I just love that. It's such an important movie, how it went from like, a dark, somber, anti-nuclear story to like a huge pop culture icon that he is today, But everything about this figure is just very, very nice. The more I pose it, the more I look at it on film, the more impressive it looks to me. I really, really like it. You could do a running or an action pose with this figure, even though this particular Godzilla wasn't really a runner. He was more of a slow plotter in the movie, but the figure allows for a nice running pose. Look at that articulation, man. Like, it's just so smooth. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do several more poses for this video, but yeah, there's your nice running pose. And God, man, look at those dorsal plates, guys. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that's done. I love that. The outline of it, like, might be a little heavy-handed in certain places, but I think it works. They're just trying to make it nice from the back. I think it's a truly quality paint job. Really looks good. It's only really heavy-handed in that one spot. I don't know if you could even call it that, because it's just done that way to make it look good from the back. Anyway, that's just so sharp. Yeah, so just to show you the range of motion and crazy poses you could get this thing into, what it's capable of doing right there. That's awesome. Zen Buddhist Godzilla. Hiya! Another thing to point out, obviously, here is the amazing balance that this figure has. It's just incredible. You could get it into tail off the ground, 1 foot off the ground, poses all day long. Make Godzilla throw a nice side karate kick right there. The karate kick you later. Awesome. Okay, look at that, folks. Look at that. That's so nice, man. Look what you could do with this figure. Has excellent balance, excellent articulation, and it looks good. By the way, kudos to the paint right there on the brows. If you can see that, yeah, right there. That's nice shading. That looks so good. It looks like he's really alive. I love the I like the way the face and mouth and eyes look on this figure. It's so nice. And this tail is just great. But yeah, look at that. You could really make Godzilla look like he's creeping. Okay, and another thing I wanted to talk to you about, guys, aside from this super cool pose right here, are a little bit more about these beautiful dorsal plates, which are, just beautiful, pearlescent, translucent. Look at that. Look how nice that looks, man. Let me shut the lights for you so you can really see. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Look at that, bro. Look how beautiful that is, man. That is so nice. Yeah. This figure is gorgeous. It really is. It's a beautiful figure. Okay, and now for comparison, and I'm very happy to do this because I'm very happy to own all three of these guys. These are all of the 54s from SH Monsterarts. This is the original one, which is like in a beautiful, smoky, matte gray paint style. That's just excellent, man. It really captures the black and white version of the 54 movie. I love that matte effect on it, and just a beautiful figure. Of course, we have the movie graphic plus here, and then the 70th anniversary, which is just, in my opinion, is just a gorgeous figure. Beautiful dorsal plates, everything all around, all of these accessories that it comes with, the beautiful atomic breath piece. But, you know, you could clearly see if you collect Godzilla figures, you might want to have all three of these. You don't need just one because all of them are very, very different. You know what I mean? With three different paint jobs, three different styles, three different colors. And they're all just fantastic in their own right. You know what I mean? This is the OG, you know, super fun figure to pose. This came out, 70th anniversary. As soon as I saw the first picture of this, I knew I had to have it. This is just a beautiful 5-star figure. And then this is different in its own right with the movie graphic plus series. Very, very nice. All three of these are highly recommended. Get them all. You know what I mean? You want all three of these in your collection if you collect Godzilla figures. Okay, so now I'm going to just compare it to the other movie graphic plus figure that I purchased, which is the Shin movie graphic plus. And these are the two that I have so far, you know. And I'm digging this line, you know what I mean? I don't know if maybe I'll get I have two 89s. I have you know, the Heat Ray 89 and the regular version. So, but I might do it. And I'm probably going to get the 2014, honestly, because I did like the looks of it. So maybe I'll just collect the whole movie graphic plus line, you know, because I do like them. And I think that both of these figures are fantastic. You know, this is a great Shin. They both have beautiful dorsal plates, you know. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. I might collect them all. Okay, boys, that's about going to wrap things up here for this fantastic, pretty much 5-star figure here that I do highly recommend. I think everybody who collects Godzilla figures should go out there and grab this guy. It's that nice of a figure, man. It really and truly is. Shout out to SH Monsterarts and the movie graphic plus line. Like the goddamn video, subscribe to my channel. And I will be at you with another one soon. Peace out, fellas.